It's not over. He's not over. He's not over.
We're live. Well, hey guys, welcome to a live Q&A video with Real Hazardous. We got myself, Captain Jeremy, we got my sister, Kayla, and we got my dad, JJ.
Boat owner.
Right.
That's the only reason I get to be on here.
No, he's got a wealth of knowledge, actually. Hold on, folks. Maybe it's a little...
That ain't what he used to say when he was 16.
Well, I mean, it wasn't so bad.
I got a little smarter since we got older.
Yeah, funny how that works, right?
Yes.
Well, anyways, so today we're gonna talk about what's biting. You know, we got some reports to help you guys out in case any of you guys are fishing, you know, tomorrow. We got some questions we're gonna answer, and we got some upcoming videos that we're gonna tell you guys about. Before we get started, any of y'all want to say anything?
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
We're all on the same page now.
Yep.
Okay, we're all on the same page. Good to know. Well, let's start with our first question. Kayla?
And the answer is?
Distractions over there. Okay, Daniel wants to know, are there any good places to fish from shore in Jacksonville?
Any good places to fish from shore in Jacksonville? Quite a few. You want to take this one, Dad?
Yeah, because I've done this a lot. One of the better places, if you like the saltwater fish, is at the Sound, what they call Nassau Sound. You got a long bridge, a lot of fish out there, drum, flounder, sheephead, whiting, a large variety of it. Plenty of room to fish out there. Long walk. But make sure you carry one of them little fishy caddies, you know, so you can take all your stuff in there. And then another good place was the Hexer Drive bridges. You can work along there. I think part of the pier is open now, the Jack's Beach Pier, so you can do that. Except the last few days where it's been so rough, you know, you probably can't keep a line on the bottom and be too turned up too. There's a couple little spots off along Hexer Drive, not counting the bridges, but just along the shoreline where water feeds up under the road is another good spot.
Oh, well, thank you there. Said the volume's a little low. Let's see if I can...
So you want me to talk louder? You got it? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, we're getting closer.
Yeah. Better?
In the old days, we just zoomed.
Right.
We just moved the whole thing forward.
But yeah, so, Extra Drive, good spots.
Yep, Nassau Sound, Jack's Beach Pier, all along the beaches you can go out there for whiting and pompano and redfish along their drum, things of that nature.
Okay.
Not a very good comment.
No, you're just saying a little louder. We'll try to take it up a notch.
Okay. I can't see what you're saying, so if he tells me it, even if it ain't true, I won't.
Yeah.
You ready for the next question?
Next question. Sure.
Okay, Dalton wants to know, do you think trolling ballyhoo with wire can be just as effective or better than high-speed trolling for wahoo?
Okay, so we got a question. Sorry to interrupt. Another question was, is lobster season open now, or when does it open? So, sorry, Dalton, for 1 second. It's actually open
Till tomorrow,
till
Sunday.
Till Sunday. The last day is March 31st, and then it reopens again for mini season the last Wednesday, Thursday of July, and then it opens for regular season August 6th
August the 6th.
to March 31st.
Every year.
So you better go after them fast. Anyways, back to Dalton's question about using 40-pound line, right, and a 2-speed. So yeah, you can use that to catch wahoo. I was actually keeping a tally of how many wahoo we catch on bait versus how many we catch high speed, and for a while it was like 50-50. Like, I would do both on the same trip. I would usually we would be like trolling for bait in the morning. We wouldn't catch nothing. We'd switch in the afternoon to high speed. We'd catch wahoo. Next time out, troll high speed. When it catch something, switch the bait, catch wahoo. Lately, I've been doing a lot of high speed just because of the being able to cover ground. I've been able to find a lot of new spots for bottom fishing, and once I've got these good spots that have bait, I feel more comfortable trolling slower. To answer your question, our lines have, from the comment just posted, our lines have braid and mono. I like using the braid. It's real thin, really strong. Seems to do real well. I put a shock leader on it though. I also use mono, that's fine. And I haven't used wire line, so can't tell you for sure. I hear it's very effective. I actually want to try it. I might do some tests comparing how they troll, what gets deeper, wire, braid, or mono. But I know both people use them, so either one works.
Right. The wire is a little heavier, so you would probably go a little bit deeper with the wire. The braid obviously cuts the water a little bit, and the advantage of the braid is you can get more on your reel, same size reel as you would using the same pound test in the mono.
Yeah. But you can catch, if you got that 40-pound line. If you saw our video, Wahoo fishing out of St. Augustine, we were fishing with a friend, and he was actually using TLD 25s with 40-pound mono, and he was trolling a wire leader. He had like Islander lures over ballyhoo. We caught wahoo that day. You can still troll, you could go 9 miles an hour, 8 or 9, or even 10. You wouldn't put a real heavy torpedo weight. But I remember you also asked about the planer, and I would suggest doing the planer. He does what we do, and that's you take like a big planer, put like 300-pound mono on it, and make it like, maybe 30 or 45 feet long, and you put a loop, and you put that loop through the cleat of your boat. Then you take like a shower curtain ring or a double snap swivel, and you take a rubber band, and you wrap around your 40-pound line, and you clip that to the rubber band, you clip the other end to the mono on your planer, that's on your cleat, and then it slides down. So that way, you get your line deep, but you don't have to put, like, if you put an inline planer or weight, it'd be a lot of pressure on your 40-pound line. So I would say just cleat off that planer to the back of your boat. Use your 40-pound with your wire. You control 8, 9, 10, probably 8 or 9, and go from there.
There you go.
Any other thoughts on that?
No, I agree with that. Another thing we might want to bring up is some of the fishing reports. You want to start with some of those, or what do you think?
Sure. You want to tell them what's biting where?
All right. I talked to Captain Chad Sterling of Team Buck Rogers, and he was telling me that they're doing very good outside on their 12-hour trips. And when we say outside, usually that's outside of 30, closer to the ledge, out in bottom in areas like that. Catching porgies, red snapper, triggerfish, doing real good on triggers, albacore jacks, and silk snapper. And you usually get a good box when you go out there. The downside is you're fishing real deep, and it don't take long to get tired.
Yeah. So yeah, hey, I just saw your comment, Jim. Yep, just a little Q&A. So if you got any questions, let us know. We were talking about what's biting where just now. So yeah, offshore, pretty good bite. A lot of wahoo too.
Right, and it's getting that time where you're going to start seeing the cobia show up. Water's still a little bit cool. Same way with the Spanish mackerel. Spanish will come in ahead of the king mackerel. You start catching them. Watch that water temperature when it starts getting up there in the upper 60s, in the 70s. That's when it's really going to turn on.
Mm-hmm.
The cobia right now are mainly offshores on the wrecks, usually in a little bit deeper water.
Right.
But watch for those rays to come up along the beach.
Yeah. They say 68 degrees is like a good starting point, which we're not quite there yet.
No, but the water's warming pretty quick. We keep getting those fronts that come in and drop it down a little bit, but once that longer days and that sun starts coming out, it'll warm that water up quick.
Mm-hmm. What about inshore?
Inshore, yeah. I talked to Captain Vic, one of the local charter guys, and he was saying that they're still getting some sheephead. I've seen a couple of his pictures online this week. Redfish, looked like he's doing real well on redfish.
Mm-hmm.
A few trout in there, and some drum. I think he actually had a couple of big drum this week too. Those big 50, 60, 70 pounders.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So pretty good all around, inshore, offshore.
Exactly. And the thing about inshore is you can almost fish anytime, whereas offshore you gotta kind of play with the seas. Inshore it can be nasty. We find a place to get out of the wind, we catch some fish.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, saw that comment. Catch some dolphins.
Dolphins.
But he doesn't mean mahi.
Oh, you talking about porpoises? And I have actually hooked a porpoise.
Yeah.
We had him on there
Hooked
for a
him
while.
twice.
He jumped. He come stole a mangrove snapper from me, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that porpoise kept eating him, and he got too close to the bar one time, and off he went. And he played with me for a little bit, and then he decided he had enough of that,
Yeah.
and it was over.
So I saw your comment about he was asking what's a good way to target cobia when you don't have a tower, to find cobia.
Yeah, watch everybody else. That's what I do. But no, you see the shadows. Even if you don't, you can stand up, and if you got a T-top or something, stand up on the gunnel and
Mm-hmm.
look. But I look for shadows, or you can also go for the bait pods. That time of year, you'll see the big puggy pods, and them cobia will stay right around the pods. And look for your fish. You'll actually see them free swimming up top, even away from the cobia.
Yeah. Sometimes if we're going slow, like maybe like 4, 5, 6 mile an hour looking for them, we'll put baits out. Or even if you want to go slower, you can put out a live bait, and that might kind of, they might come to you in that case, kind of make it easier.
Yeah, we've actually done that when we weren't seeing any rays or something. We just throw some baits down there and start trolling, and you pick up them cobia.
Yeah, I don't know if this is considered cheating, but imagine if you're flying a drone, you could find yourself some cobia.
And we do have a drone too that we put up. Can you see the picture on the drone? You can't you?
Probably.
On your phone?
Yeah.
You put it up.
But,
It ain't cheating. We didn't go out there to boat ride. We went out there to catch fish, and so we don't. We use all the little secrets.
Yeah, I've seen
satellites.
Yeah. I thought about back in the day. I was like, man, you see them guys flying along the beach, towing those signs saying like "marry me" or something. Seems like they always ask someone to marry them. I wonder how many people get married on that day who didn't, pay to have that
Get
sign.
engaged.
Your girlfriend thought, hey, that's for me. You guys like, yeah, sure.
And you thought they were just advertising when they were actually looking for cobia. That was like,
yeah,
they were making extra money calling on the satellite phone.
Yeah, well, I thought about like, hey, I'll get in touch. I'll find what radio channel they're on, and I'd be like, hey, hook me up, man. Tell me when you see the fish.
There you go. Got another comment?
Yeah.
It's too little. I can't read.
We got a thought. What are our thoughts on Seymour? Which I imagine you mean Seymour mapping, not the guy.
See more, see less.
Seymour at
We
the
see
big
less
show.
a lot of times more than we see more, don't we?
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's probably what the company was thinking when they named it Seymour.
Oh, you think so? Makes sense to me.
But yeah, thoughts on Seymour. I would like to use it. I don't think Garmin, because we have Garmin right now, I don't think Seymour can integrate with Garmin just yet. I have some friends who use it. They say it's pretty awesome, so I really want to use it. I want to try it. I've done without it, so I'm okay. But if I had that opportunity, like if they ever make it where it's compatible for Garmin, I'll try it and tell you what I think.
There you go. You use every advantage you can get.
Right. Had another.
Did you see the next question?
What's the next one?
What is your favorite fishing memory? The one that made you go to bed with a smile.
I have a lot of those. Oh, yeah. If I catch a fish, I go to bed with a smile.
There's always
Even
some
if it's a
interesting stories.
toadfish. You ever caught a toadfish?
So yeah, sometimes it's not like, you obviously have that big catch. I think of like 80-pound wahoo we caught, giant mahi. But some of the ones I guess that really make me smile weren't good at the time. Like some stuff in the Keys, like we caught the flying lobster. So we're down in the Keys catching lobster one time. This is in our old boat, okay, our 22 Stratus before we got the real Hazardous. And it's like, I think it's the second day of mini season. We've got a couple of or we got most of our lobster. We only need like a couple more. Me and my brother in the water, we're doing it like really fast. We're having a record-breaking day. Everyone's happy, stuff like that. I was driving the boat, and my dad got in, and I got in the water for like just to catch those last couple. And I'm down there, you know, I scoop up a lobster, and I go down and I come back up out of the water, and it's like all of a sudden everybody's like in a bad mood, like no one's talking. I'm like what's going on? What I missed? I go to get my mom a lobster. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, just don't. and it's funny because she's kind of trying not to laugh, and everyone else is in a bad mood.
Yeah, I'm
No, one person, two people in a bad mood. The other is trying not to laugh.
Yeah, and I look over at my dad, and he's bleeding
profusely
from his head.
It was just going all down his face.
Like The Walking Dead, but Walking Dead guys don't bleed, do they?
I don't know. We don't really watch that.
So I'm like, hey, what the heck? How's he bleeding? It's like calm. We're lobster. We're almost done. What could have happened? So as it turned out, in that boat, the live well was under the deck. And I don't know if you noticed my brother, he takes lobstering very seriously. He can catch like 2 or 3 lobster at a time. Like he has a net, and he'll start like putting them up under his arm and holding them. And these things are sharp. He'll be all scratched up, but he'll do it. So he got like 2, and he given the net to my mom, and like he just took that other one, and he was tired of holding it, so he threw it in the boat. Well, since the live well was on the deck, my dad was down there counting the lobster, and the lobster had the hard shell on that point, and that lobster hit him across the head, cutting his head open.
Yes, it did. And I was not happy, needless to say. I might even said a bad word, I don't remember. Probably did. And we're right there at the end of having all the lobster we needed to, and then right across the, you know.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy just comes up, and he doesn't know what's going on, but you can tell he's starting to laugh. He doesn't know why, but he's just getting that smirk on his face. We're just like, stop it. Don't make it worse.
Yeah, but after everybody got in the boat, we started heading back, and then everybody starts busting out laughing. Including me. I thought it was a little funny then, but at the time.
But it is a rule that now you do not throw lobster in the boat.
Right.
They go in a net.
Right, especially when you don't know what's below the other side of the gunwale, like me.
We're pretty bad about throwing things and getting hit.
Kayla actually made his and my brother's head bleed because she would throw the ropes out, right? The ski ropes that we tow with, and she got so accurate, she was hitting people in the head, like, because like my brother and like, well, we'd all do it. We're looking down, and we just do the hand thing to like throw me the rope. And normally, back in the day, people would throw it, and we just weren't good, and they'd throw it ahead of you, so you'd hear it slap, and then you'd grab it. But then she just got accurate, and we'd be like this, and be like, bam.
No, it's a little more to it. They'd be like this, and as soon as I would throw it, they'd put their head down. So sure enough, right in the head.
How come you ain't good at beanbag toss? The way you throw that rope, you think you
I've
hit
been off lately.
the hole on the beanbag every time.
I do recall she hit someone in the head.
Last week?
Oh yeah, as a matter of fact.
Right in the nose.
And that person wasn't very happy either. What are you doing?
No, at first it was a look of panic, like, what's going on? Then, who did it? You did it. Like he knew right
It fell
away.
from an airplane. I seen it fall.
Right in the nose.
I think it's part of the space shuttle hit you or something.
I think it's universal. No one's happy when they get hit in the head.
Yeah.
A
Especially that hard.
friend of mine, Steve, who did the Wahoo seminar, and he's got some cool Wahoo lures and weights and stuff. Remember, he told us a story about how one of them weights from the Wahoo took off, and that weight hit him across the head and knocked him out. So, no one likes getting hit in the head, especially when you're fishing.
But later on, it's a very funny memory.
Yeah.
Do you want the next
How come
question?
I'm not laughing now?
Yeah. Dude, before we go on, do y'all have a funny smile memory?
They're pretty much all related like that.
Ours are both hitting you in the head, but do you have another one?
Hitting you in the head?
You've had some pretty funny stories.
Yeah, but some of them I can't really relate to, but talking about the one with Van Never that time.
Some things we don't talk about.
Yeah, some I can't talk
So-
about.
Next question.
Okay.
Okay, did you see this one?
Jim was asking
Yeah.
about tarpon.
Yeah. Do you ever specifically target tarpon outside of or in the Jacks area? If so, what areas and what methods?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't specifically targeted them, but you can. And I see them a lot in the pokey ponds.
Mhm.
I know, like, I think right by the inlets too. I know a guy in St. Augustine was catching them.
Right. Nassau Sound Bridge in September. That water's coming in. They'll sit there and they'll attack that bait coming in up under the bridge. That's another good spot too. Around the jetties, you catch them. I've caught them up in Browns Creek on shrimp when I was trout fishing. So you know, when they're hungry, they're gonna eat.
Yeah, I would just say, you know, I guess probably middle to late summer. You know, pokey ponds along the beach or the inlets. You know, you could. We'll catch bait. You know, the funny thing, we'll be going to catch kingfish. We'll catch bait, see tarpon, go catch kingfish. So they're there.
And you'll see them rolling too. When they're in there, you see them coming out tailing and rolling all up in that bait pods.
We have another one.
Well, Cold Pro 2 said they really love the channel and they just wanted to come by to say hi. So
Thank you.
thanks for coming by.
Thank you very much, and hey, pass it on. More subscribers we get.
Yeah, we appreciate
it
all y'all watching, and if you don't mind sharing, you know, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and if there's things that you want to see that we haven't put on there, let us know, you know. Human sacrifices, I don't think we can do, but other than that.
So what was that one about the apps?
Yeah, Michael wants to know what apps do you use to determine offshore weather and what wind direction typically causes seas to be rough offshore out of Mayport.
It's a deep question that we ponder likely.
And it ain't always works either. Even when you look at it, they say it's going to be slick, you get out there and you get your brains busted out.
Appreciate the comment. Jen, you said windy.com. I haven't seen that. I'll have to check that out.
Windfinder. And
we've been using, Windfinder, which seems to be pretty good. And also the NOAA marine offshore reports. Usually I'll look at both. That wind finder seems to be pretty accurate, I found, on the wind. You know, sometimes, like, we went out to the ledge our first trip this year, and it said it was going to get pretty windy about midday, and sure enough it did. You know, none of these things are perfect. And I just try to, kind of get a good pattern. Like, if it's saying it's going to be really nice Saturday, but Friday's windy and Sunday's windy.
Narrow window.
It's a narrow window. You know, if it shifts slightly, you're kind of caught. You know, you go out in bad stuff.
Especially when you get way out by the ledge too. That's when you got to really watch it. Things to keep in mind too is like fronts. If they say a front's going to come through, sometimes the fronts will smooth or speed up or slow down. You know, so you got to say the front's going to go through Friday and then it's going to lay down Saturday. Sometimes that front will be a little late coming in or leaving. And so you have to watch them. That'll affect your weather.
Yeah.
If you see a forecast that says southwest at 5 knots on Friday, and like she said, Saturday's going to be northeast at 15. Somewhere it's going to get rough in there. So you got a very narrow window to play with. Usually, I won't go to the ledge when it's that close.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. And then someone wants to know when are you guys coming down to Ponce?
We've actually fished ponds. I like ponds. In fact, our boat came from ponds.
Yeah, you fish ponds. I haven't.
You did too. Remember when we went and fished that tournament one time with Chris Clifton?
Yeah, we went out of St. Augustine and we drove down a good ways.
We didn't quite make it to Ponce, did we? I guess we stopped at Marine Land.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
We were trying.
But our boat came from that way. Port Orange?
I'd like to fish ponds. It'd be really cool. Maybe you can send me some tips, some good places, to fish over there.
There you go.
Let's see. Have you, what was that? Have you ever fished Marquesas in the Keys? Marquesas?
What's he look like? Nah, I'm just teasing.
Okay.
I don't know. Probably not. I fished the Keys. We typically fish the Marathon, Middle Keys area.
I don't think we went much past the 7 Mile Bridge to fish, and then up towards the humps, the Alamorada humps. I think the 409s. Yeah, that's about the farthest north that we fished.
Cool.
And then obviously out in the Gulf, going out there and did okay.
Yeah. Hey, cool. Thanks for the bottom tips. I saw that comment.
Mm-hmm.
We'll check them out.
And the thing too is when you're going out there, especially when you're going out to the ledge, always bring your bottom pole. Because just about every time, if the wahoo ain't biting, you mark you a couple good spots, drop down there, and you get you some what we call table fare triggerfish to be able to come home and have some food,
Yeah.
some fish. Might as well come back with something, you know.
Yeah.
Cigar minnows taste terrible.
Shrimp, you know, I guess you could always cook up your bait shrimp if they're not too rough.
Most of the time they're pink time you get back there and come back.
Yeah.
Lay them out on the deck and the heat will cook. Maybe just I'll cook them or something.
Yeah.
Jim wants to know, what are your thoughts on the upcoming snapper season?
It sucks. And I'll tell you, I'm sorry to use that word, but we're going to be in the Keys boat weekend, so we ain't going to get no stinking snapper.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they're even letting us have it. I thought for sure after last year, after our 2-weekend season, they would say, oh, you caught too many snapper, you wiped out the population, you can't do it. Surprised we got what we did, which is still kind of sad considering how many there are. I mean, diving, we've just seen so many. It's pretty cool. We got to fish with Black Tip H. I don't know if you've seen his channel, pretty cool. And some guys called Dude Perfect. You probably heard of them. And
I've heard of them.
Yeah, we were catching so many snapper. It was it's crazy. And the time before that we were catching so many snapper. We had double hook rigs, double snapper.
But let me give you a warning. On the red snapper season, you think there's a lot of boats out there? There was about every wreck or reef that we come to, there was, I mean, what, 50 boats?
Yeah, literally.
We thought we had secret spots. We ain't got secret spots. There was people, and if we did, they were right there with us. So there were so many people out there. To get to the boat ramp was crazy. I think they need to come up with a better rule. Let's do tag system or something where everybody end out there, because it's kind of dangerous with that many people out there. And believe me, it's a rush to the gold mine to get to the spot.
Yeah, and this year it's going to be really bad because one of those days falls on the Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament, which
they have
would have they'd have like 300 boats typically. So now not only you got a big tournament, you've also got snapper season.
Plus, I think I read on their website where a snapper's going to be. You can weigh in a snapper on it.
Yeah, on the tournament you can.
So add another 300 to the 3,000 boats that are out there.
Yeah,
just in our spot.
It was crazy. Every part of every wreck, you know, like I could tell it was kind of cool. It was kind of like, you ever wondered, you know, you see like big ocean, you wonder, I wonder where all this reef, you know, this ledge, how far it runs. Well, that day you could tell because there was like a line, and when the boat stopped, there was nothing over there. That's where the ledge stopped.
Yeah, if there wasn't no boats, there wasn't no bottom there. I can assure you. At least not for the first 30 miles that we were out, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so it'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah. Good luck when you're out there, because and like I said, one thing that one guy did, and I think you guys might want to think about this, is they went out, if the weather's good, they went out that night at midnight.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any problem. They said a couple hours they were back in and didn't have to fight the crowd or anything. So that might be a thought to do if you're going out there. Of course, us saying this now, that there'll probably be 3,000 there at midnight. So then we'll have it open there in the daytime. You know.
Yeah. Okay, well, we got a question here. What if you put...
You're right. What if you put a big net in front of the jet ski pointing downward and try to catch the bait fish going really fast? Would that work? I think it will be real hazardous. And great job, Jeremy.
Well, I think one thing, if you do hit the school, you're going to flip off that. It's going to snatch your butt off that thing. Because I don't know if you've ever been into a big school of pogies. I can't really pull the net in. So if you got a big one and you hit them, hold on.
Yeah,
you probably stop.
You're like Nemo.
Yeah. We've cast netted, and they float in the net. I mean, they're just, some of those schools are, they're so big, they're probably, I don't know, tens of thousands of fish in that school. So you would.
Sometimes in an 8-9 foot net, we'll get 200 or 300 pogies in there. Not that I counted them, but. And watch that pogie poop off the boat, because you will bust your hiney one.
Yeah.
Jim wants to know, what are your thoughts on catching bait in jacks?
When the summer gets in and the pogies come up, last year they seemed pretty consistent.
Yeah, it was one of the better years. Northeast will throw them off sometimes, or if you get a thermocline, it'll throw them off. But even if you can't catch bogeys, always keep a sabiki rig on.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go out there and jig them up. Sometimes before you go out along the docks, you can catch mullet, finger mullet, which works okay. It's not my favorite.
Mullet are pretty cool. You'll see them kind of ripple the surface. It looks like a ripple, but it's actually the fish right at the right at the top.
You don't want to throw a 12-foot net trying to get those guys, because them bad boys move. You want a net that you can chunk out there to catch them.
Okay, Michael wants to know, is it possible to catch beeliners in less than 100 feet of water? And can they be caught on public reefs within 20 miles?
Yeah, you can catch them, but I noticed since GPS come out, that they get a lot smaller. Back in the day, back in my days, back before they had boats, when we were floating around, stone boats, I guess. You could catch the big beeliners in close, but now you don't, unless you get out past about 30 miles, you rarely catch a good keeper-sized beeliner. But now when you get out closer to the ledge or out the bottom, you can get some really nice ones.
Yeah, it's just, I guess, kind of the downside now. They're tough to catch inshore, those beeliners.
Right.
Okay, Jim wants to know a few things about shrimping in the river. What is your favorite method and the best time of year?
Trout River seafood, you catch them every time when you go there.
Yeah.
It works. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm being smart.
I mean, I guess last few years hasn't been great because of all the rain we got. The rain will kind of keep them from getting up to our area.
Keeps that water too fresh way up in the river.
Yeah.
And plus, I think the currents, all that rain washes them out too.
Mm-hmm. I like I mean, we typically do daytime off a boat, tape your nets, and just, go out. Usually you hear people saying, hey, we're catching shrimp, and then you go out and you start, kind of like, these catch on was kind of prospect. You start throwing them, watching your depth recorder, trying different depths.
And you can see them. You can see them on your depth recorder. It'll actually show up. And generally, when you find them, they're pretty consistent. If they're in 18 foot of water, you will generally catch them all along that. They may be in 10 foot. Most of the time, they're a little deeper than that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they'll be in 30 foot of water. And it's just wherever they end up, it seems like they stay consistent all along the edge of the channel.
Yeah. Fishing at night off a dock is nice because it's cool. Only thing is you're kind of stuck on that dock. If you don't have a dock, it's hard. And if the shrimp aren't in that area, you can't just change areas of boats. You got a little more flexibility, but it is a little hotter.
Right. Yeah. But it's I don't have to worry about falling out of the boat when you're on the dock, and a little bit more comfortable doing it that way. But like you said, when they're not there, it's a long night. But with a boat, you can kind of keep moving along and find them.
Well, I guess we'll get ready to wrap it up. We got any last minute questions? Fishing, hunting?
Any video ideas, suggestions?
Can you read that?
Last question. One of the last questions. What we got there, Kayla?
Jim said that he notices that we troll a lot. What is your preferred speed for trolling, and did you change speeds depending on what you're targeting?
Go ahead, Kevin.
So we do troll depending on what we're targeting. So wahoo, I like to troll either like 14, 15, 16 miles an hour because the boat does well at that speed. If I'm trolling bait for wahoo, I like to go 9 or 10, still going fast. Dolphin, I'm still kind of a faster guy, 7, 6, 7, 8. And then kingfish, I take it down slow, one motor, and I put out a sea anchor just to go super slow.
Yeah, and when you go out there, different kinds of fish are better different times of the year. So when you go out there, have a plan of what you want to catch. Now, you're going to catch other stuff. You might go out there and get into the wahoo and a big school of mahi come in and just be fluid and have you a couple spinning rods. But kind of have an idea of what you're going to target when you go out there.
So another question, 50 wide or 80 wide for wahoo? We actually have both. I like the 80, especially on my big, heavier ones. I got 80 and a pin 70, which is kind of like a mix. It's good, especially if you get a big one on. But otherwise, I use 50s, and 50s work for sure. A little lighter.
Yeah, and the 2 speeds too. If you can do those, and the reason why is when you can crank that down into low gear. If you have to pull grass or check, do a maintenance check on your bait, and if that thing's just a 1 speed, it's hard. You have to almost slow your boat down to get the line in, especially with a heavy weight.
Yeah. Well, cool guys. I appreciate all y'all joining us. Thanks for all the comments. Appreciate y'all watching my channel, and glad y'all like the videos. Got some other cool stuff coming. If you like the live videos, if you want to keep doing this, just let me know. Maybe once a month or stuff like that.
Yeah, what we want to try to do is do fishing reports and kind of keep you guys up to date, like I talked about earlier, so you'll know what to target when you go out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, any other thoughts from you guys?
No.
Keep those lines out. You can't catch a fish if you ain't got the line in the water.
That's right.
That's not always true. They'll drop in sometimes.
That's true.
But you better chance if you have your lines out there.
Yeah.
And don't fish on credit.
That's right. Okay, guys. See you next time.
Or maybe not.